So early impressions of Shadow of Mordor are pretty good, to be honest. I really like this game. Um, I didn't really hear anything about it before picking it up. It kind of just looked like one of those, almost like a movie tie-in that I just didn't really care about, and I only became like even remotely interested in it when I found out that it was by Warner Brothers and Monolith, who have made some really good games, including more recently the Batman games. Um, so, oh, let's get this guy here. Basically, the combat follows exactly the same as the Batman Arkham games, even down to Wraith Flash is like the little bat swarm that you get. Block with Y, you fight massive amounts of enemies at the same time, so it's almost essentially the exact same game. There is still stealth in it, which works almost identically to Assassin's Creed. It's a little bit more lenient. You don't actually have to be too stealthy. It's kind of like the Arkham games as well, in that you can do stealth, fail it, just escape and retry the whole process again. Except escape's not actually as easy as in Batman, because you don't have the kind of flying away abilities. You still got the hide in bushes, that kind of stuff, but overall it's not as easy to escape. Let's get this guy, let's find out where he is.
Back to work, all of you! You're not eating for free! Not on my watch!
So yeah, once you start climbing up buildings, you could be forgiven for thinking that you're actually playing Assassin's Creed, but with a bit more grotty textures. This is a better game than a lot of the Assassin's Creed in terms of like overall gameplay. Man, I do not want to fight that guy. I have actually killed one of those yet in this game. So as far as progress goes at the moment, I'll go through some of the things that I've done. So this is the world that you play in. You can probably run about one of these little blocks from like this tower to that tower. Probably take you just about 30 seconds. So it's not actually that big of a world. I thought this might be like a Grand Theft Auto and it unlocks more stuff, but it's actually... I mean, I don't know how I feel about the whole world. In general, I thought when you first started off it's a little bit flat and it's not as interesting as I hoped it would be. But once you start getting into the missions, it's quite a dense world. So as far as my progress goes, let's see if I can find out where those things are. These are all the things, people that you can find, hints, items that you can get in the game, artifacts. Those are like finding runes, which is like a hidden package. Upgrades is like a standard upgrade tree. It's almost identical to the Batman games, where as you unlock things, some are unlocked with story, some are just unlocked with points. You can get extra finishes, extra moves, which make things a little bit easier. Attributes is just you upgrading your health and your abilities and your gun, swords and your bows. Overall progression, then I'm about halfway through the game now. I'm not sure where it's going to go from this point on, but I'll show you in a second what stuff I've basically been doing. Sword legends are just using the sword to like unlock things. There's like little missions that you get. Bow legends are little missions that give you like bow upgrades. Same with dagger. Survival challenges are like finding plants, which you need as like they're basically your health packs in this game. And then if you find certain combinations, like at the moment I need Nifredrel or whatever it is, Lothrond and Azor Adan or whatever that is, different coloured ones. You just collect them, you just unlock them. Hunting challenges, you kill beasts, so I think one was spiders, now it's flying creatures, so you just shoot those as you wander about. Ithilidil, or whatever this is, they're little runes on the buildings that you can collect, and artifacts. I'm not actually sure how I found an artifact, to be honest. I've not come across those yet. It's just all collectibles, so when you actually look at the map is super dense, and all these things, like that's a sword, that's a bow. These things are jewels which happen randomly. There's feasts, beast hunts. The yellow ones are the main missions. So the story missions are pretty linear, and then the other missions kind of branch out. I haven't done too many of those yet, but they follow the same sort of pattern. You get money rewards which you can then use to buy stuff with. So if we go across to Sauron's army, what happens here is basically you meet these orcs, which are like just a different type of orcs, and they're all really well realised and drawn out. So this guy here I don't think I've even met, but he will be hanging around at the other side of the map, and I'll go and kill one of these guys in a bit. Basically, these guys are the captains, so they're like a big deal, and when they show up it's kind of like a wrestling entrance. You have to fight them and try and kill them. If you do kill them, then they die and someone else might take their place. If you don't kill them, then they rise up further into the army. So if I zoom back out, so these guys on the lower ranks, I don't even know these anymore. These are new, these are replaced. Some of the ones that have been killed here get replaced as other people rise through the ranks. So when you die, it kind of updates the Sauron's army like a kind of a chessboard, and then these dead ones will get replaced by the lower ones, and if I fight them they tend to go up more if they kill me. This guy here has got a looks like he's got a duel going on. Oh, has probably got a duel going on, so he's fighting somebody else. So I don't know if this is just this guy's design, but there's one dude that keeps showing up that I've pretty much cut his entire face off now, and he's kind of wearing a bag on his head. I just finished him off a moment ago. Let's see if we can find his corpse somewhere. Not him, he's got a face. Not him, he's alive. This guy, yeah, he just continuously got more wounds as he went, which is really, really awesome. Rookdug Thunderhead I've highlighted as my target, so I think we'll go and try and kill him. He's really, really hard to kill. They all have their different abilities. These guys are the war chiefs up here, so with these guys up here, they have bodyguards and you have to fight off their bodyguards, and then you go and do separate missions where you fight those. So some of the lower captains you have to take off, and eventually some other people will be promoted to war chief as I go on, but I focused on this to begin with in the game because I thought it was awesome.
What was that?
The game is quite brutal. I don't think it really deserves its 18 rating though, because these aren't actually people that are dying, they're kind of just monsters. If you sneak up...
Wait! I smell something.
Oh yeah, murdered. Okay, time to go. What I was going to do there is interrogate that guy, and then you can find out more information on the captains, so that when you do actually fight them. A couple of the assassinations, when you do those assassinations, it will actually cause the other people to run away, which is a neat touch, because it saves you having to do ridiculously long fights over and over again. Right. So let's go and find this guy. So the main basis of these acts is fast travel, and they heal you up. They give you extra attributes. You can actually get different things for your swords and your bows, which I'm desperate to call guns for some reason. And then as you unlock those things, they give you extra abilities, which I'll show you when I pick one up from this guy. It'll probably be one of the final things that I show. With your bow, it's just really useful for either distractions, wasting like that, or if you hit people in the head, they usually die. So, these little things with the bees around it, they drop onto enemies' heads. You can use them as distractions too.
After a battle, I need food and grog.
And you kind of enter your little bat vision, and you can zoom in on the guy that you're going to fight. So this guy, so he's scared of burning, and he's scared of these things called Karagors, which are like monsters that come out. Last time I did try and kill him straight up, and it just didn't work. I got absolutely battered to an embarrassing degree. So I think this time we will play it by the book. Try and release one of these Karagors. Please land on the ledge. Okay, you didn't. That's great. It's really useful. So we will play this one by the tactical book. If I release the Karagor, then his fear will be triggered. He'll probably will run away. If I'm very, very lucky, I could actually mount the Karagor. If I try and snipe him with my bow, it won't work. We have to hope that he will go over to the hopefully he's going to get him. It should be absolutely brilliant if it did. One of the moves you can do is to pin people's feet to the floor, but I think this guy has an immunity. Oh no, there we go, pin him to the floor. Hopefully this Caragor is going to kill him. Just every time that I've fought this guy, he's had a... Okay, so the sword's glowing blue, which immediately gives me the ability to do an execution, which is exactly the same as Batman, which is kind of like a power attack. It doesn't execute these guys immediately. Some of them it doesn't work on, some of them it only works on, essentially. The B is like the stun with the cape in Arkham City. That will cause them to be in a stun state. When they're downed, you can finish them.
Dark Lord is watching. Do it! Let him revel in my death!
So you have an option to interrogate them, and I'll show you how this system works then. So you can gain intelligence from it. Any of these people that's in black means I don't know anything about. These guys... Oh, might have killed the wrong guy here. Oh no, I didn't. These will tell you some things about them, so let's find out about this guy. Deshrat the Duelist. So I've learned some intel, and then it tells you what he's vulnerable to. And in the process kills this guy. Then if you collect this rune, you can go and equip varying degrees of weapon of stats onto your weapons, which is a cool system. Really important that you at least have some things on, so that it makes sure that your attacks have sustained damage and it knocks people down for longer. It just kind of adds more detail to the overall system. So then, those are my impressions as it stands at the moment. I'm really surprised that this game is so much fun as it is. It's not so much a grind, but there are a lot of side quests to do which I haven't got boring at all yet. Initially I was a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that there is to do, but the reality of it is you won't be that bothered about doing them all. Time will tell after a while if I've got bored and they start adding them more in, but I think the content's pretty much hit a sweet spot really. So overall, if you're considering buying it, I would suggest just going and getting it. You will like it. If you like the Batman games, then yeah, you'll absolutely love this one. If you perhaps didn't like the Batman games, or you're not that much into the Lord of the Rings, I'd still say there's quite a lot for you here. It's a really good experience. The world's really rich. There are a couple of issues with clipping the walls, and the movement's a little bit tricky. Sometimes it's not quite as fluid as you want. In fighting, there's rarely any issues whatsoever, but as you'll see with these guys, if there is a crowd nearby, it's very difficult, for example, to time this kind of attack to exactly who you want. You can just spin about attacking people as much as you like, and eventually you'll kill them all, but if, for example, one of these guys is a captain in this fight, then it will make it a lot more difficult to apply my finisher to the guy that I want. Sometimes the captains seem to be immune to some attacks, which is difficult to know why, even if it's not on the list. I haven't quite figured out that yet. I'm sure there's probably a reason for it. And the other thing that's only slightly annoying about this is it's not a game breaker, but sometimes you'll be fighting people and you'll get a camera angle like this, or like this, or on the other side of a wall, which is just a little bit of a shocker really. Overall though, it's fantastic. I'll be posting a written review once I've actually finished the game and I've been through everything, so I'll post a little link to that for my website so you can take a look, and that'll be down there below the video. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're thinking of checking this game out, then